Namaste, everyone. We have about 30 people with us so far on this webinar, Mastering Sanskrit with Dr. Vaishnavi Nishankar. She's on with us already, but we'll get started in about 3 minutes at the top of the hour. I'll go back to that music, and if you want, please put in the chat where you are zooming in from. It's always cool and exciting to see the diversity of folks who are interested today in learning, not just learning, but mastering Sanskrit. And we'll get into the courses we offer and the programs that we've set up with MIT University, and we'll get into your questions and all of that. So just hang around for a little bit before we get started. And if you want, oh, there we go. We got Hawaii, Nareshji, thank you for joining us. Sarthakji from India, Saranyaji from Phoenix, Dilip from Maryland, Anjali from Los Angeles, Sunil from Montreal, Canada. Very good, very good. Glad to have everyone on. Oh, first in the chat was San Diego, Dashara. Oh, okay, nice. Choose our own name sometimes. Rajeshji from Albany, a basic Samskritam learner. Yeah, maybe I'll run some polls to see what level of Sanskrit you're already at. And we have some of our panelists joining us and students. So if we want to do a quick audio check before we get started, that could be nice. Audio video check from maybe Jayantiji.
Hi, namaskara. Hi.
Great. Next.
Hello, namaskara.
Good. Sorry, G. All right. Let me just go back to the screen. Great. Welcome, everyone. My name is Ankur Patel. I'm the Director of Advancement for Hindu University of America, and we have a special webinar for you today on mastering Sanskrit. We have a great group of students, professors, faculty, and admin. Pragyaji, thank you for joining us. Special shout out to Pragyaji. If you know her, she's been integral to Hindu University of America and bringing you wonderful programs, right? HUA's master's program is entering its 4th year, this 2022. And so in this webinar, we're gonna take your questions, and Dr. Vaishnaviji, along with some of our MA students, will share their experience, this uniquely designed master's program in Sanskrit, right? We're online, it was great to see everyone from around the world joining us, from India to Sunnyvale, Honolulu to Canada. And we will take all of your questions, and this program is designed for what we're talking about as the Hindu University of America, the resurgence, the platform of Hindu thought, knowledge, knowledge systems. And so with that, let me introduce our faculty today. Our special guest, who's going to be kind of leading the charge on this for today, is Dr. Vaishnaviji. So she holds a PhD in Dvaita Vedanta epistemology, right? The knowledge systems and how do we even get our knowledge, focusing on inferential cognition from Rashtriya Sanskrit And my pronunciation, I need to take some Sanskrit courses myself, but I've gotten better, right? Vidya Pitam in Tirupati, from where she actually obtained her second master's degree in Sanskrit computational linguistics, right? This language is so sophisticated, and we got all sorts of ways for you to plug in no matter where you're at. And Vaishnaviji's worked on the Ramayana and its commentaries. She's also taught Sanskrit to undergraduate students for over 5 years. She's experienced, she's focused on value education and developing a learner-centric curriculum and learning resources. And now she's the academic coordinator at MIT, Maharashtra Institute of Technology, School of Vedic Sciences in Pune. When we say MIT, people are like, wait, MIT is doing a Sanskrit program with HUA? We're like, yes, they are. That one in Pune, yes. And Vaishnaviji is involved with curriculum design, right? We're designing this, we're at quarter by quarter, we're updating and figuring out. And so we want you to be a part of this as we assess, not just assess our Indic knowledge systems, but absorb them, share them, spread them out. And we got to do it in Sanskrit. I'm speaking English because I was born in Los Angeles, but people have talked about Sanskrit as being a dead language. It's not dead, it's alive. They tried to kill it. It was almost destroyed in an ethnocide, an erasure of Hindu civilization and culture. But Sanskrit is at the bedrock of this, and it's my pleasure to hand it off to Vaishnaviji, who will lead us on this webinar. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. No, Vaishnaviji, we can't actually hear you. I thought we could. Are you muted?
Is it audible? Is it better now?
Yeah. Let me see. I can raise the volume.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you for introducing me, Ankurji, and Namassarvebhyaha. Today I represent MIT Institute for Indic Knowledge Studies, which is conducting it's going into its 4th year of master's program in Sanskrit. While this is going to be our 6th year with the master's program in Vedic sciences, we have another a branch of study. But yeah, Sanskrit, this is going to be the 4th year along with the HUA. So let me quickly, briefly give you some, maybe through a presentation that would be much easier for us to quickly understand what we are trying to do at MIT with Sanskrit. What's unique about it? Because I'm sure all of you who have been thinking about going ahead with Sanskrit, you have many of you would have done Sanskrit learning through Sanskrit Bharati or out of your interest. I'm very sure you're all here because of your interest in learning the language Sanskrit. And I'm very glad indeed that out there, where it's you are trying to connect with your roots and pursuing your Sanskrit study with so much interest. So let me give you an opportunity, a peep into what is in store if you want to choose master's program in Sanskrit. So I am speaking on behalf of my director, Dr. Sai Susarla, who is not able to be here today, but he is highly involved in curating this particular program. And I would like to let you all know that much of the effort of bringing in this sort of program, which is high on its convenience and convenience in its delivery mode, as well as high in its content value, is something that is the brainchild of Dr. Sai Susarla. So I would like to introduce to you that how he has conceived this and how this whole program is executed year after year. It's been executed for the last 3 years. I'm very thankful to my beloved students here who have been students of the past. Some of them, Jayanti Hariji has already graduated, and I'm really very thankful. Now she has mastered Sanskrit at MIT IIKS, and Asavri ji is in the process right now. So I'm very thankful to them and to Sri Ram Subramaniam ji for also coming here to let us know, to share their experiences about how their learning has been, and has it really been worth it, and also to testify whether what I'm speaking here is truth. Is that what they have really got? What I say is what they get. Okay, so thank you for joining, all of you. And yes, so let's go into it. So basically, introducing Institute for Indic Knowledge Studies, I would like to say, as I previously mentioned, we have two streams of learning. Basically, the degree learning, which is master's, is it's in a MSc mode, MSc in Vedic Sciences, and master's certification in Sanskrit, or MA in Sanskrit, that is arts mode. So we have these two flavors of Sanskrit learning, Sanskrit and Shastra learning, basically. For us, Sanskrit is the medium. Does Sanskrit learning happen? Yes, Sanskrit learning does happen. But there, it's not learning Sanskrit, but using Sanskrit to learn Shastras. That is the mode in which we use Sanskrit, both in the Vedic Sciences program as well as in the MA Sanskrit program. And the idea with which we are proceeding with Sanskrit learning in this mode is because we understand that when we look at Sanskrit as a medium of knowledge, only then it's possible for us to enrich mainstream education also, wherever there can be contribution from the Shastra side to the community, to the knowledge areas that are contemporary. And we have been seeing continuously that this is possible. We've been for the last 5 years, we've been seeing that this is possible. And we have started making interactions with knowledge streams such as psychology, design, knowledge modeling, management, and humanities, social sciences. There are these some of the areas that we are law also, judiciary and law is also one place where there is a little bit of interaction that's going on at the moment. So when we look at Shastras per se as the resources which can enrich mainstream education, we need to create those people who will be able to look into the Shastras and bring it out for the people, for all of us to use it in the contemporary world. So this is one idea with which our programs have been designed. And so if we look at the basic difference, if we have to know how Vedic science, MSc Vedic science differs from Sanskrit, MA in Sanskrit, uh, Vedic science program looks at the Shastras more from application point of view. They also look at the structures, the models that are available in the Shastras, the thought process. It is not as much a text-based course. It is more of a thought process based. So we look into the Shastrakara's mind, what is going on, how the Shastra has been built, what are the models in the Shastras, how could we represent them, so and use them for maybe replicate or fortify existing models. So that's the way in which MSc Vedic Sciences goes. Herein, again, the other difference is that the Vedic Sciences is not delivered in Sanskrit medium, while MA Sanskrit is delivered entirely in Sanskrit medium. And MA Sanskrit is a program that is extremely suitable for people who have, gained a little mastery in their conversational Sanskrit, who have, wetted their, feet. They are interested to, get more strong in their both language and media, Sanskrit as medium of language. So if you are looking for that, then I think MA Sanskrit is the best option for you. So if you have completed your conversational Sanskrit learning, if you're comfortable with understanding Sanskrit, maybe you're not still fluent enough to speak in Sanskrit, that's still okay. If you're able to understand sentences spoken in Sanskrit, and you're able to make small sentences by yourself, if that is the level of your mastery, then we invite you to take SPT, that is Sanskrit proficiency test. And with that, you should be able to know whether you're able to kind of meet the standards. Now, why do we insist for you to go through this entrance exam? Is for you to understand that the classes of Sanskrit, MA Sanskrit classes, they go on in Sanskrit medium in a normal pace, like a normal spoken pace. So while the first semester is kept light, it is not as heavy in its, it's not loaded so much with Sanskrit, and you are not expected so much to, respond in Sanskrit and all that. You can still take a little, sort of liberty there. But then gradually, because of your immersive, because of the immersive nature of the program, you're constantly listening to Sanskrit, and you're also encouraged to respond in Sanskrit, do the assignments in Sanskrit and things of that sort. You gain more fluency and mastery in Sanskrit. Now, if you're somebody who's already good in Sanskrit, then the takeaway for you is definitely that you can dive deeper into the Shastra learning. So the basics of not only the language, but the basics of the Shastras are introduced in the first semester, which are then taken on gradually in higher and higher sort of standards as it goes. So that's about what is MSc in Vedic Sciences and what is MA in Sanskrit. And if we have to look at this MA in Sanskrit, which is delivered through by HUA in collaboration with IIKS, what is different in MA Sanskrit that is offered by IIKS, HUA IIKS, vis-a-vis those that are being conducted so vastly, everything in India? I'm sure you all know that there are many universities which are already offering distance learning for Sanskrit, and you can get the degrees by, in the place where you are. You could apply, and you could be able to become an postgraduate in Sanskrit. And there are also two different lines that we see. One is the traditional university system, wherein the institute is a Sanskrit university, and there's the other one wherein you have general universities running Sanskrit departments. So you have a Sanskrit department in a general university that also teaches other subjects, like say law or management and other things, and there is a Sanskrit department. So there are two modes, two flavors in which Sanskrit learning happens at the university level, particularly at postgraduate level in India. uh, but definitely the difference is that now HUA IIKS is something which has designed this MA Sanskrit program keeping in mind the conveniences of professionals of today. So it is delivered fully online and at convenient times for professionals to pick them up. They do not interfere with normal working hours. So they are delivered at working hours which are suitable for professionals to take up. But it does come with the prerequisite. The only prerequisite that is there for you to launch yourself into the MA program is that you should be able to understand Sanskrit, have simple fluency in Sanskrit, and be able to make small 3-word sort of sentences in Sanskrit. This is the requirement that it has. So if you have done, say, maybe if you're from Sanskrit Bharati, you have done your Shiksha, Pravesha, Kovida, at least if you have passed level 2, if you're in after level 3, then MA Sanskrit is something that would be much for your offer, that would really suit you. And the syllabus is also unique in one way, that we have seen to it that the before teaching you Shastras, before actually launching students into Shastras, we ensure that they know what exactly is the structure of a Shastra. What do you need to understand to understand Shastras? So we don't launch you directly into Shastras. We give you a digested version of a digested essence of how do you understand. So there is a something like how to study Indic sources or how to study Indian Shastras. This is first, provided to you, which becomes more or less like a guideline, a guiding principle for you that stays with you. And then uh, again, we understand that people who are coming from professional backgrounds do not have the time for to spend on learning by memory. There is no learning, you can't learn it by rote or and but the idea is not to provide them content that is required to be learned by rote. The curriculum is highly concept oriented, and it is not just learning the text, it is learning the context, the concept, which is what you need to grasp. And so the assessments are not based on test of memory. They are more based on how well you have assimilated the concept or the content, and how well you are able to apply it. So that is what is the parameter for test. And uh, the essentially the subjects that go into so let me also give you this piece of understanding. The difference between a general MA, which is taught in a general university, and Sanskrit MA, which is taught through a traditional Sanskrit university like the Central Sanskrit University. So we need to understand that there are two streams of Sanskrit. There is one Sanskrit in a general university, and there is Sanskrit in a Sanskrit University. So in the Sanskrit University, the departments go like Vyakarana, Sahitya, Nyaya, Vedanta, Jyotisha. That's the way subjects are the uh, uh, you know uh, the specializations are categorized. And you are taught, say for example, you want to choose Sahitya for your study. So the entire MA that you would be doing would center only around Sahitya in all its, like depth. So you would be starting from the basic granthas in Sahitya and go deeper and all that. So that is the model that is there, which is taught in Sanskrit medium. That is what is done in the Sanskrit universities. While in the general universities, you're given a wide flavor. You're given a wider platter. So you're given a little of everything. They will teach you Sahitya. They will also teach you Vyakarana. They will also teach you some basic of Nyaya, something like that. But uh, more or less, this is what is seen, that they are not taught in Sanskrit medium. They are either taught in English or in the vernacular medium, whichever state in India they belong to. So you could do your, write the answers, or attempt the assessments in the vernacular medium. So much so that if you go ahead and do a PhD, you could still do the PhD without being able to speak a single sentence in Sanskrit. You could, just write the entire thesis basing on a Shastra which is originally in the Sanskrit medium, taught through another medium, and also exposition through another medium. So this is a possibility when you go into a general MA in a general university having a Sanskrit department. And while the other case of Sanskrit universities, you get into a specialization and you don't get the wider flavor. So what we've done with MA Sanskrit at IIKS is you get a wider platter of subjects. You're taught Sahitya, Vyakarana, Nyaya, Mimamsa. In fact, Nyaya and Mimamsa are usually not included as foundational subjects in the general universities. While at IIKS, we believe that unless and until you include Nyaya and Mimamsa at the foundational as foundational subjects, as foundational sciences, we do not complete that Padavakya, Pramana Shastra triad that compose that are supposed to be that are supposed to be known to comprehensively be able to attempt self study of other shastras. So we make it essential that Vyakarana, Nyaya, and Mimamsa are taught at their foundational levels. And also we have Sahitya, Vedanta, Yoga, Ayurveda. As Sahitya is for the first two semesters mandatory, while in the other semesters, all other subjects, including Sahitya, Vedanta, Yoga, Ayurveda, Jyotisha, they are uh, brought in as electives. We also have Veda, we also have Introduction to Veda, which gives an overview of all the Vedas, and in not only its classification and ontology, but also the how it comes across as a way of life, how it comes across as a guideline to way of life, the Vedic way of life. So that is also one subject too. So this is provided in Sanskrit medium at IIKS. So this way, you are able to get a wider platter. You are able to look into the different shastras in their flavors, and you are also able to get them in Sanskrit medium, which is something unique, not found in universities either in India or anywhere else. So this is one thing. And then the idea with which, so we can clearly see that the way we proceed with the Sanskrit learning is usually, we look at conversational proficiency, then then grammar is taught, and then you have literary appreciation, then text study. So you study and you teach. So then it's study teaching, like, so it, this is how it goes. But what we focus on at IIKS is that we should be able to provide, shastric, just not just grammar for because grammatical Sanskrit is all what is to be known, but we provide you with the understanding of, with the learning of shastric language per se, shastric language that is useful for you to understand shastras in all their variety. So how to approach shastras, once you know the structure of the shastras, we see that that sort of a structure is available in pan shastric, across all shastras. This is pretty much common. Once you know that, not not just knowing the Sanskrit language, but also knowing the shastric structure and the shastric terminologies, the paribhashas, the technical terminology, if you're able to learn them, then the study of text, so this is preceding the textual study. So now when you're learning the text or when you're studying the text, you have deeper insight. And then we look at textual study from two perspectives. The study of the text has to be in such a way that it's not just for self learning, but you should be able to become ambassadors of Indic knowledge, basically. So how do you do that? You should be able to paraphrase the concepts that you are learning from your study for a modern audience, and you should also be able to assimilate the shastric thought process in a way that you would be able to apply it in any other modern context or any other contemporary context. Then you have a comparative, and this thought process involves analysis of comparative analysis, not just across shastras, but across disciplines that are both contemporary and Indic. And then you should we envisage that shastra based modeling should be possible for contemporary knowledge areas, and one should be able to develop modern applications based on that. This is the wider roadmap. And we have all our research, our faculty who are also involved in research are already working on shastra based modeling. So that is also already going on as a separate project, and we are also focusing on developing modern applications using the shastras. So this is something that's on the anvil. So if this interests you, then MA Sanskrit at IIKS is ideal for you. And to look at the program at a single glance, like what exactly do you get, is that you have two levels. So level 1 is for 1 year, level 2 is for another year. Put together, they make a like master's certification program via HUA. And every 1 year level, so level 1 is divided into 2 semesters, level 2 is divided into 2 semesters. Each semester you study 4 courses. So for a year you have 8 courses, and each course is takes in about 3 credits. So you have 24 credits going with them. And the program fee is, of course, annually it's $3,600 at US. And if you compare it with if you want to look at it, how it works in India, you get an MA degree in Sanskrit, and this is a UGC recognized degree, which is actually provided by MIT IIKS. Now, this degree program will be a proper 2-year degree program, but the only criteria is, so the difference between the certificate in Sanskrit and degree in Sanskrit is that when you go in for a degree in Sanskrit, you are expected to come to the campus, which is in Pune, twice a year for writing your end semester examinations. Otherwise, when we look at the master's certificate program in Sanskrit, which is offered both at HUA as well as at MIT IIKS for Indian students who are residents in India. So for them, in both these cases, the master's certificate program comes completely online. There is no requirement for the learners to come to India or to write the examination on campus, even if the student belongs to India. So they don't need to come to the campus for the examination. The examination is also completely conducted online. And we would like to actually also let you know that, as I told you, this is going to be the 4th year. So if you are into this batch, you're going to be to the 4th batch. So you already have your seniors, and we also have them over here, at least for I think all the three batches of them, right? I think Asabri ji belongs to the 2nd batch, and Sriram ji belongs to the 3rd batch, and Jayanti ji belongs to the 1st batch. So all of them are here. So what is the outcome of somebody who is graduated in MA Sanskrit from IIKS? Is that one thing is, you are staying in your own convenient place, in your own convenient time, and you are learning Sanskrit with an immersive mode. And we also are not, I mean, at least at IIKS, we believe that Sanskrit learning is not just for one's own. It's not something that satisfies just one's own interest, and it provides self-learning opportunity. All that is fine, but outreach of the Shastric knowledge, as it is useful, as it is utilitarian, as it is applicable for the contemporary world, is something that we encourage our students to always go ahead and do. We also support them in many ways. I think Asabriji has been one of the beneficiaries that way. So we would and in that process, we also create some avenues for them to do it. As of now, you'd be glad to know that we already have our conversations going on with IIT Roorkee on some regular basis. We have had a non-curricular event called as Shastra Setu with them, wherein our students who have who are graduating from our master's program provide talks.
One second, the audio kind of cut out. Is that for me, or other guests also have that? Can you try again, Vaishnavi ji?
Yeah, I'm also having difficulty in hearing Vaishnavi ji. So it must be from her
just
end.
the last few seconds.
Is this better this way?
Much better, much better. Yeah.
Okay. So let me take this off then. So we already have had our, graduating students who have been doing their MA Sanskrit. They have been giving talks to IIT Roorkee students and faculty. So far, we have had 8 talks, and they are available on the YouTube. So these are some initiatives, and now we are also trying for some further initiatives with them to be able to do some cross credit sort of elective sort of things that they could take in from us for interdisciplinary learning involving Indic knowledge study. So this is something that we're also trying. So these are some of the titles. I mean, I think Jayanti ji, you also did on a primer on Vedanta for scientists, right? If I'm right.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So these are some of the topics that might be of interest to you, which were delivered at IIT Roorkee through Shastra Setu. And excuse me. So what are the options? So once you graduate in Sanskrit from IIKS, HUA IIKS, what is it that you can do going ahead with Hindu University of America? Is that you could use this degree towards HUA's Sanskrit area of study, and you would also be eligible for a PhD programs in Hindu studies of from HUA. So this is something that the credits of that you scored from the Sanskrit post-graduation master's program at IIKS would be counted into your, they'd be considered valid for sufficient credits for doing a PhD program. So there are now, is this MA Sanskrit useful at all? What do MA Sanskrit students usually do after studying Sanskrit, and what are we going to do? I mean, is it of any, except that I like Sanskrit or I have interest in Sanskrit, is there anything, going ahead with it? Is there any opportunity? So with the national, we have an, new education policy that is being implemented in, it's in the offing of implementation in India. So here we see that a lot of thrust has been given on Indic knowledge studies, and they are the technology institutes, the engineering institutes, and all of those involved with rather the sciences and humanities are being encouraged to provide interactive learning involving Indic knowledge studies. So this is one thing that is coming up majorly, at least in India. So we see that if the IITs or if the IIITs or if the technology institutes and the IIMs, if they want to look for experts or scholars in Indic knowledge studies for teaching or for collaboration with their own institutes, then those who do MA Sanskrit from IIKS would be very good candidates, considering the kind of background with which they are provided with this Shastric knowledge. So this element of knowing the Shastras from an application, from a structure point of view, and to be able to look at Shastras in the sense of their contemporary. Shastras were never not contemporary, by the way, but to be able to look at them not just as ancient, knowledge systems, but as knowledge systems which are living, thriving, and are capable of, contemporary utility, something that is, in the wanting at the moment. If we want to take them to this sort of institutes. Otherwise, there are not much, because we see that Sanskrit is taught in the universities in India more in a preservation mode rather than in an application mode. So when this is happening, it's how can the technology institutes or contemporary knowledge areas approach Shastras from a utility point of view is something that's not easy for other institutes to deliver. We have been focusing on this particular aspect from the inception of our institute. So, and towards this, we also provide some courses like the textual immersion course and short-term research program, wherein in the textual immersion course, you get to study an advanced text in any of the Shastra of your choice, one-on-one with an Acharya. And the purpose of doing this is to design a new course, which is in a way, which in a way would be able to be communicated to the modern audience, novices in those particular learning areas, and to be able to
provide a knowledge representation of it in such a way that the course would simplify that advanced text, and the learner, who is a novice, would be able to assimilate it. So this is the expected outcome of the textual immersion course is to prepare a course and teach it to novices of from a modern background, not from a Shastric background, but from a modern background. And we also offer short-term research programs, which is a 6 to 9 month program, wherein the Shastric research methodology is focused upon. So to understand that research methodology is available in the Shastras, and when we approach Shastras with that methodology, we are able to, derive more insightful learning or study of Shastras. So with that aim, goal in mind, we created this short-term research program where you get the taste of what you could do in PhD going ahead using Shastric research methodology. So these are after MA, of course. And so the program designers are, I would like to specially mention Professor Srinivasa Brakhediji, who was the Vice Chancellor, who is now currently the Vice Chancellor of Sanskrit, Central Sanskrit University, and Professor Nagaraj Pathuriji, who's Director of Indic Academy, and Professor Vinod Vidwans, who is from liberal arts background basically, and who is somebody who uses aesthetics into modern applications. So that is his background. And I think I already covered what I needed to say. General MA in India, specialized MA in India, and what is the state of MA outside India, and how MA Sanskrit at IIKS is a little different. So if you actually take the degree program, what do you get? So as I mentioned to you previously, you have 4 courses per semester. And these 4 courses per semester go to make 16 courses for the entire program. And if we look at the mandatory subjects and the elective subjects, this is how they go. So you have 11 slots of subjects which are mandatory, wherein you get introduction to Veda is mandatory, Vyakaranam is mandatory at 4 levels. So you have Vyakaranam 1, 2, 3, 4, or all the 4 of them are mandatory. Sahityam, we have 4 levels, of which 2 are mandatory and 2 are electives. And we have basic Nyaya Vaisheshika and basic Mimamsa as mandatory. And we have the Vedic Science Foundations, which is focusing on how to study Shastras, basically, which is taught at the foundational level, at the beginning level, and that is mandatory. And you have 1 term project that you need to do, which will involve your independent study of a text that you have not learned hitherto in the program. So you need to choose a text that has not been taught to you in the 3 semesters. So the term project is done in the 4th semester. So you need to take up a text and study the text independently and make a presentation of your understanding in Sanskrit language. So the text is to be studied in Sanskrit, and the presentation is also in Sanskrit. And the elective subjects you have are from the Veda stream, the sciences stream, that is, so you study Rig, Yajus, Sama, and Atharva Vedas as, in 3. So you have Rig Veda, Yajus, and Sama as, Veda 3, Rig Veda as Veda 2, and Atharva Veda as Veda 4. And then you have sciences stream is Yoga, Ayurveda, Jyotisha, and Vedanta, all of them in basic and advanced levels. All the 4 are electives. So you have Yoga basic and advanced, Ayurveda basic and advanced, Jyotisha basic and advanced, Vedanta basic and advanced. All of these are electives. So you could choose one of them at each level. So you get an opportunity to choose between Yoga, Ayurveda, Jyotisha, Vedanta as an elective in the basic, which you can carry forward to your advanced level. And then you have the foundations stream, wherein basic Nyaya, Vaisheshika, and basic Mimamsa, which were mandatory, you could take them in an advanced mode. So you have that the next level of it also available as an elective. So these are the details that I wanted to share with all of you. So and now I would request Ankurji to take over. And if there are questions, yeah, I'm willing to take them.
Yeah, beautiful. I learned so much about the program. I'm excited to be a part of it. Pragyaji has been answering questions, I think, in the Q&A box already. We might want to say those aloud again. If you have more questions, put them in the Q&A box. I ran that poll in the middle. I don't know, Vaishnaviji, if you saw it, but of our audience, people came in and out. We have 22 absolute beginners, and it was multiple choice, so people could click more than one. That's kind of the distribution of who's on right now, if you can see it, right?
Yes. So actually we have most of them from some knowledge of Devanagari script and some ability to speak and absolute beginners. Okay. So I would also like to, I think there are two things that I think I still have to share, is that the master's program is also available in 3 modes. Because those who take Sanskrit programs with us are professionals. So you could take a master's program in Sanskrit, level 1 and level 2, in 2-year mode, wherein you will be taking 4 courses per semester. You could also take them in 3-year mode, wherein you will be doing 3 courses per semester. And then you could also do it in the 4-year mode, where you will be only taking 2 courses per semester. So this is another setup that we have, and depending on the amount of time and convenience available with you, you could take. And for those who think you're beginners and you don't know enough Sanskrit to be able to, do a entrance test, we have a Sanskrit program, Thinking in Sanskrit. The name of the program is Thinking in Sanskrit, which is available for, a taking. It's a 40-hour self-paced course, which you could take now and maybe complete it. You still have time, because maybe even 2 or 3 months, you still have time, but you could do the course and, strengthen your Sanskrit and improve your fluency, and then take the SPT. And we have found that many people have found it beneficial that once they do the Thinking in Sanskrit course, they find it much easier to attempt the SPT. So yes, so that facility is available.
Great. So you can see the questions after they are answered by Pragyaji, right? Preparatory course, like where can you plug into? We have all these different layers, and we can answer those questions with that test, and Pragyaji can walk you through it. I have a second question. I don't know if I worded it exactly right, but your level of interest, and I just kind of left it: enrolling in a certificate, enrolling in the master's degree, enrolling PhD program, just taking a few courses, I'm not interested in learning Sanskrit. Thank you for being with us anyway, but whatever it is, click one of those and let us know. That will make it easier for us to follow up. And so, Pragyaji, why don't you answer some of the more important questions you've answered because everyone's not looking and reading, but some of the ones that you've answered that you think are important. Yeah.
Okay, so as Vaishnavi walked you through all the program, and it was wonderfully already explained by her. The admission process does not require any formal application currently. But passing the Sanskrit proficiency test with 70% marks is mandatory. It is required for you to be eligible for admission into MA Sanskrit program. And as Vaishnavi mentioned, they have preparatory courses, which are self-paced, if I'm right, Vaishnavi.
Yes.
They are self-paced. You can take it on your own time, and it will depend on your proficiency currently, and also the time that you have to prepare and take the entrance test, that is the SPT. And HUA does have Sanskrit courses for beginners, people who are absolute beginners and they would still want to pursue MA Sanskrit maybe in 2 years' time from now or 3 years' time from now. We do have courses for people who are beginners. But for people who want to take MA Sanskrit this year, that the session begins in July, I would strongly recommend that they, if they are actually fluent, they should take the practice test available on SPT. That will help you assess your current proficiency. and you'll be able to then decide or, take an informed decision whether or not you should be taking a course or you want more time to brush up your knowledge. And if you are able to clear the SPT, then you are good to go. You can simply go ahead and register for the courses. You will be admitted into the program. So it is, this is a very good time for any one of you who's interested in the program. And the program, you will hear from the students who've already taken, is definitely very exciting. This is what I've heard from everyone. The professors I've heard are institutions in themselves. So I think this is a time when, for people who need to brush up their knowledge, you have time until 30th May to take and pass the SPT. Every Sanskrit proficiency test registration will allow you 2 chances, and you can attempt these 2 chances within the 40 days of registering yourself. The practice test does not need you to register. Practice test can be taken just like that. What is the difference?
Jayanti has been sharing some, yeah. Thank you, Jayanti ji. I think, we should go ahead with, trying to understand what exactly the program meant to our past students.
Okay, good. Yeah, past students. Do we want to hear from some of the other folks that are joined us as panelists and maybe an introduction, and they can give some context as we get into some more of these questions? Yeah, no?
Sure.
Yeah, Jayanti ji, please go ahead.
Thank you. I'm Jayanti Hari. I live on the East Coast of the US. I started my journey in Samskritam in 2009 with Sanskrit Bharati. So Sanskrit Bharati provided me an avenue to get familiar with the various fields, but in a very limited way. So once the appetite was kindled, there was this hunger to know more and more. And I think MIT HUA came into my life at just the right time. And I was looking for something to delve into, to completely immerse myself in. And I must say that it was a gem of an opportunity for me. So firstly, yes, I had some familiarity with Sanskritam because I had done the courses in Sanskrit Bharati, but I had a whole lot of classmates who had not even done the various courses in Sanskrit Bharati, but could still come up to speed. One, because it's an immersive course, you don't have a choice but to wade through the waters. Secondly, you have a very, very friendly networking space. You learn from each other. All the resources are provided to you. So you could do the fundamentals. For example, you have the MIT itself provides you the opportunity to do the thinking in Sanskrit course and bring yourself up to speed before the main course starts. And even if you don't know how to speak in Sanskritam, in a matter of couple of months, because you're breathing in Sanskritam all the time, you are listening to your tutors give lectures in Sanskritam, you're listening to your colleagues speak in Sanskritam, all content is delivered in Sanskritam, so you just absorb it, whether you like it or not, you just absorb it. Osmosis is the process by which you come up to speed in a matter of 2 to 3 months. Yeah, there are any specific questions I can ask, but I can just go on. I'd love to hear specific questions here.
Could you just give me how exactly the term project did it really work for you? I mean, we claim that you should be able to, because that's a tall claim to make, you do 3 semesters of Shastra study, and you are able to study a text on your own and make a presentation. Has that been possible for you?
Absolutely. So we all enjoyed the first year the first 1.5 years, we were handheld by tutors. It was immersive in the sense that every time we had homework to do, it still meant independent thinking. They were all application-oriented question papers, mind you. So there was this ability that we had developed by the end of 1.5 years to think independently about a concept. But we were still nervous when time came to do the project. We were still a bit nervous. Oh my God, how am I going to read the Shastra all by myself? And just like everybody else, we had a whole host of questions. How am I going to do this? Will we have somebody to help us? But once we started doing it, I think Vaishnavi ji can tell us. I don't think we kept going back and forth with the faculty as much as we thought we would be. I think we were given about a month's time, month and a half, in which we had to pick up the text all by ourselves, and from the vast repertoire of the Shastras that are available, Vedanta, Nyaya, Mimamsa, Sahitya. So we could just pick up the text of our choice, one we had an inclination to, and possibly one that we could apply in our current profession or occupation. I picked up Vedanta because I have an inclination to Vedanta. And besides, I'm a business and a personal coach where I'm working with individuals who want to better their lives, who want to get to a better state of being. So I chose Vedanta, and I picked up the Chandogya Upanishad and one particular chapter from the Chandogya Upanishad called Bhuma Vidya. I found it extremely fascinating. There are a whole lot of there are vyakhyanas, bhashyas available on the subject by our great seers, rishis. So just sitting with it, referring to dictionaries, and using the building blocks that we have developed through the 1.5 years, I was able to understand, put down the structure of the particular chapter. Not only that, I was able to express and articulate myself in Samskritam to the audience. More than anything, I was also able to talk about the applicability to the contemporary world. Today, I can say, having done that, I am very, very confident that I can pick up any text whatsoever and handle it independently. I can read it independently. So it's no more canned content that you're happy with anymore. Once you've been through this course, the most fulfilling part is you're being able to read the text in the original and being able to understand it and apply it at the stage that we are in, as opposed to just reading canned translated content. I think that is the biggest takeaway for me from the course, and the term project helped me immensely with that.
Yeah, thank you, Jayanti ji. Yeah, Asavri Bhagini, can you please share your experience of how it was with?
Yes. My name is Asavari Kerkar, and originally I'm from Pune. Now I live in Los Angeles. I had studied Sanskrit in school, that is 8th, 9th, and 10th. And after coming here, I did all 4 Sanskrit Bharati exams. So I did have some knowledge, Sanskrit knowledge. I could understand what somebody's speaking in Sanskrit. So I think that helped a lot, having knowledge of Sanskrit. What I liked about this program, how the teaching and how the everything was, I do have some notes I have taken here. I'll just share them. I'll just read them out to you. Teachers at MIT, they are very knowledgeable and friendly. They encourage questions, and I never felt scared or nervous to ask. I have asked them questions in class, on WhatsApp, email, phone, and they have replied back to me quickly. Attending class is very convenient via Zoom, and all class materials are easily accessible online. So I could revisit, look at the notes, go through the lectures. If I have any questions, ask again. The presentations, they were always colorful, attractive, interesting, and easy to understand. Lessons, so the material is vast, but the lessons every day that we went through, they are usually broken up into digestible amounts of material, which was very helpful. And the concepts were explained very clearly. So that was also helpful. That is very much needed for our scriptures and the religion, Hinduism, I mean. Quizzes and final exams, they were not very easy. I mean, they made me study hard. But once I studied and once I took the exam, I felt I had a good understanding of the material, the concept. I had understood it. So that's what I felt, which was very good, because that is the goal. Understanding is the goal. Passing the exam is not the goal here. Now I really feel good that I can figure out the meaning and relevance of many of the mantras that I have heard before. All of us have heard so many mantras before. There are several books available outside that tell the meanings of our mantras. They also tell us the reasons behind our religious practices. Now, when I look at those books, I can develop my own understanding of the Sanskrit mantras and compare them to the explanations given in the book, which is something that I really like. I mean, there are several different opinions, and which one to take, which one is right, which one is wrong. So I can actually look at a suktam or whatever it is, whatever mantras or stotra, whatever it is, and kind of make sense out of it using the book right now, because it's introductory still, the material is vast. It feels like now our ancient scriptures are accessible. They are no longer a mystery, like understandable by only a few of us. Not everybody can approach it. Of course, this does not mean that I can now understand everything just like that. No, of course not. But now I know where to look, how to look, and how to find my answers. This is really, really great for me with this course. This program really has helped me tremendously in my spiritual and religious development, understanding. And I thank you, HUA and MIT, for making this knowledge easily available. Thank you.
Thank you, Asavriji. I think at this point, I want to mention about the way the classes are conducted. So we use Zoom for conducting the classes, and we have an LMS wherein the videos of the classes are posted. Most courses are having interactive live sessions. So you have a 1.5 hour of live interaction with the faculty for every course that you take. There are hardly, as much as I remember, just only one of the courses is it's a recording based course. All of the others are live interactive sessions that go on. So you are expected to be in the class, and the LMS carries all of the material that is needed for you to learn. So basically the videos of the recordings of the classes, the notes, the PPTs, the quizzes, links related to any announcements. You also have a Charcha Satram, that is a forum. You have a discussion forum that is embedded into the LMS, wherein you can post your doubts and queries, and you can have exchange of ideas. You also have a Telegram group wherein last minute, if there are any announcements to make which need to be quickly delivered across to students, for which the Telegram is used.
And we also form a Google group, mailing group for every batch of students. So any information that is official information that needs to be posted comes through that, as well as that's also used as a medium of exchange of ideas among the students with the faculty. And we also encourage peer learning, which is why we are very glad to ask you to set up WhatsApp group wherein just the students are there interacting with each other, clarifying, doing sahadhyanam more or less. So we encourage you to do that. So there are multiple channels of communication that are there between the teachers and the students. And most teachers who teach here in the almost all teachers, I can say, are traditionally steeped into those particular shastras which they are teaching. So they are trained in the traditional methodology to assimilate they have learned those shastras basically from a traditional approach, traditional method, and they almost use the same methodology in delivering those courses. So you can see the authenticity of the course lies in the quality of the faculty that are chosen in here. Okay, so that's something that I wanted to convey. I think I missed that when I made the presentation. So Sriramji, could you please share your experience? I invite you to do that.
Oh, thank you, Vaishnavi. I was worried that we are running out of time. Namaste, everybody. I'm Sriram Subramanian. I'm taking the 2-year mode, so it's 2 courses per quarter, 4 per semester. Like most of you, I had the same questions, similar questions, similar concerns, and unlike both Asavariji and Jayanti, my proficiency was not that much. I completed 2 levels of Sanskrit Bharati, and my conversational proficiency was not great when I took the when I joined the program. But looking back, I can say that it was worth it. It was hard, it was immersive, but it was worth it. And as one progresses through the semesters, while the courses are getting harder and harder, one can easily note that their own proficiency is increasing, whether it is speaking or understanding or writing or understanding conversational language and the text as well, right? So one could see their progress oneself. So fear not, take it. It's totally worth it, and you'll enjoy it. Thank you. And as both Savariji and Jayanti mentioned, there's help every way. Like the acharyas and Maharyas were all wonderful, very helpful. Peers were also very helpful. So at every single point, you will get help, and you will help others as well. So please don't be afraid and just jump in. That's my suggestion. Thank you.
Sriramji, you're into your 4th semester, which means now?
Yes, I'm in the last semester, and yes, I'm working on the term project as well. So I don't have inputs on that, but I'm working on that. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Yes.
If I may add one more thing outside of MIT. So you had a slide about the paths, right? So my case is a little bit different. I joined HUA for my PhD. So I'm pursuing my PhD in Hindu studies. And I wanted to focus on Sanskrit. That's why I took the MA Sanskrit program. So that's also an option. And I'm one example of what one can do after MA Sanskrit, right? Or what they can do with their MA Sanskrit. So as part of my PhD program, I'm improving my Sanskrit studies through MIT, and I'll be applying those credits back to the PhD program as well. So that's something to consider as well, that what you want to do after your MA. There are a lot of opportunities and options available. Thank you.
Sriramji, but is this MA program helping you with your PhD studies per se, and the way research is going?
Yes, I haven't finalized my topic yet, but I'm able to understand the shastras directly, like at least in a better way, be able to apply what I'm learning here towards my other PhD courses as well, and in general as I line up my thesis and research. So yes, short answer is yes. And how is in varied ways, but simply better understanding of Sanskrit text directly. That will be the single most way to see that. And also the Shastras are so vast, right? There's a lot of things that we learn. And as people will learn, like Nyaya, for example, is applicable in every other Shastras, right? So all those concepts are helping in understanding other parts of my research and studies. But yes.
Okay, thank you.
Wonderful. That was great. We definitely had time for that. That was a great articulation of what could happen, and everyone has their own path. As Hindus, we know that we're here to facilitate. I did finish this poll, just sharing the results. A lot of people interested in different ways, so that's good. We'll follow up, and Bergeji has written out a couple different times. We'll email all of you with the links and the recording, and we'll follow up and plug you in where it makes sense, and happy to answer any questions. If we have any more questions, we could still take them, but if we don't, maybe some closing thoughts. Yeah. However, whoever wants to give, Prageji, do you want to give a final pitch? I'll give the final pitch. Join, get involved, take Sanskrit, whatever level. If it's in this program, right? Thinking in Sanskrit, that's a very cool program. It's MIT. It's not an HUA. It's fine. We're here to share knowledge and wisdom. Enroll in that course, whatever works for you. Hindu University of America, we got like 34 courses this quarter. We're going to have more next quarter. There's so many different ways for you to plug in. Please do. So that's my final pitch. Vaishnaviji, maybe, or Prageji, some closing thoughts?
No, I would still go ahead. I agree completely with what Ankur says, and hoping to see most of you at least register for the practice test, SPT, clear it, and we are here to help you negotiate, negotiate the problems if you face, any help that you need. So we are all here. I have left my number. You can save the number. You can call me whenever you want. And you also have the email ID. So we'll be here to help you out.
Yes, so I think it's an invitation to all of you to, come back home to Samskritam. So, Swagatam Astute, that would be my, call for all of you. And I definitely look forward to, interact with all of you in the program rather than in a webinar. So we're waiting for your, registrations. Please do register. Thank you.
Thank you all. Dhanyavad.
Dhanyavad.
Yeah, thank you, Jayanti ji, Sriram ji, and Dasavri ji. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Our pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for inviting us here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pragya ji.
Yeah. Thanks, Ankuruji, Praji.